I can answer that. Though it is an important focus area for our overall program in Liberia, Liberia's forest resources are one of the most important assets the country has, and we really want to help ensure those resources are used properly and sustainably for the benefit of all Liberian people. I had the pleasure just yesterday to go to the University of Liberia Fendel campus, where we launched a new center of excellence for forestry, biodiversity, and conservation. So this center is going to be developing a curriculum. We talked earlier, I think, about curriculum in the primary schools, but this is at the university level to help provide the skills, again, for working on forest conservation. We have for many years been working with the Forestry Training Institute in Tubmanburg to also train not only forest rangers, but other people who know about how to properly manage the forest resources. And, it's we have a project called Conservation Works that is working to increase the number of protected areas in the country, but also increase livelihoods for the communities that are in or adjacent to those forests, so that they, can continue to, have a good livelihood and protect the resources the forest at the same time. One of the ways we do that is by promoting ecotourism, helping support the construction of eco lodges, so tourists can go and enjoy the forest, and that creates employment for the individuals in those communities, helping serve as either tour guides or providing cooking meals for tourists. So ecotourism is something Liberia has a comparative advantage, and we think it could be a very, very attractive destination for international tourists. So, it's the tourism is not. I mean, right now Liberia doesn't have a lot of tourists, but we're trying to help ensure that there are attractive places for them to go to.
Yeah, because the more attractive places you have, the more tourists you get.
Yes, exactly, and the more benefits the more benefit people will see in preserving the forest rather than cutting them down.
Yeah, Steve, you want to chip in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that I think Youth Advanced contribution towards that is making sure that there is a workforce available. So if you want to invest, to attract investors, even in the space of green economy, definitely you want to making sure that there is human capital in place, and that's where Youth Advance is contributing, making sure that youth receive the right skills and the skills in demand, and they can gain jobs or business opportunities when they open. So I think we are not necessarily working on conservation directly, but indirectly we are contributing to the program by preparing youth to tap in these opportunities when they come.
And Jim, just looking at Liberia being the population is so young, over 60% of the population, they are youth. Is that an advantage with regards to in the area of labor, the potential? Wherever you want to invest in, you'll find young people there, and the energy is there to get it done.
Yeah, I think, yes, youth are certainly an asset, a resource for the country. That, and if you think about it, if those people are all working and earning income, that is good for the economy. It's good for the country. If they're earning income, they're going to be spending it on other businesses. That helps build the economy. Those companies are going to need to hire other employees. So the whole country, the economy grows and the country benefits. On the opposite side, if young people don't have those opportunities, if they don't have opportunities for education and employment, they're going to become. I mean, people are going to be obviously frustrated. If they don't have any hope, we've seen throughout the world that youth can also create instability. Understandably,
So they make and break.
if you don't have hope for the future, you become desperate and bad things can happen. So, but the potential that youth have, the energy, we've got to capitalize on that and find ways to unleash that energy in positive
way.
ways. So giving them the skills, creating the enabling environment where they can, where they can find ways to, again, not necessarily to find a job in an office somewhere, but to use their abilities to create businesses that benefit them and then has these other impacts. So youth are definitely a resource, but if not managed well, can be a serious issue as well.
They say the adult's mind is the devil's workshop. Steve, now, I mean, just looking at, the potential Liberia has with the population being young, what needs to be done, to manage?
Yeah, I think what needs to be done, I would say, is being done to some extent, but I think we can do better.
Okay.
A good example is what Youth Advance is doing, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sport. And I believe beyond just individual youth that we are reaching, we are also creating an ecosystem that everybody has a role to play in making sure that what we just mentioned, making sure that our youth become productive. An idle mind is the devil's, field. So if I can put it that way. So how do you making sure that youth receive the necessary support, the necessary tools? USAID has designed an approach called PYD, Positive Youth Development. That's where we want to bring youth, where they have the skills, the asset they need, the tools they need. And again, we work on an environment that enable them to be productive. So I think this is happening, but I believe that there is need to invest more and more. You just talked about the statistics, basically the demographic, 60% of the population. If you want to advance your country, if you want to advance the nation of Liberia, definitely I think there is need to invest heavily in our youth by providing education opportunities, skills, and then supporting them to making sure they become productive in terms of jobs. They need to earn an income. It could be through wage employment, it could be self-employment. And I know there are very limited job opportunities, but the opportunities to do business. And I think there's need to a kind of collective investment as USAID work on specific sectors. Other partners need to come in to work on specific sectors in such a way that this collective investment basically pay dividends on our youth. So the main one, I think, is to making sure that youth receive the necessary skills and they become productive. And that's what we are doing. A good example is what we are doing with our youth in Lofa, where they are doing beekeeping and earning, harvesting and then earning income. So that's youth is focus. You can't bring that youth into something that is negative or doesn't necessarily bring impact on our economy. So helping them to meet their basic needs and then to look up towards their future, I think will move forward the country, any country in the world, I should say. Yeah.
And in addition to Youth Advance, USAID has some other programs which are providing grants to businesses, including youth-led businesses.
Yeah.
And that is helps expand when there's entrepreneurs who already have started, they've got a small business, helping them to expand their operations.
Yeah, you're talking about the agribusiness incubator
That's right.
activity.
Correct. And we recently provided technical support and cash grants ranging from $200,000 to over $1 million to 11 Liberian agribusinesses. Most of those were owned by youth. Examples are milling of rice, processing and packaging of cassava and plantain products, producing and shipping organic palm oil and palm kernel oil to foreign markets. And some of these businesses are also, some of them were having large scale pineapple cultivation. So these are, I think, successful businesses that with some additional funding will expand and not only provide income for those people, but allow them to hire more employees and create more opportunities. So those are, and also those are, I guess, sustainable initiatives. We're working in agriculture, trying to promote agricultural production, but more importantly, also the businesses related to the processing of agricultural products, which we're going to create more jobs. So whenever we see businesses that are having an idea of and are starting to be successful, we know that it's difficult in Liberia to get a loan from a bank. The interest rates are extremely high. There are some programs available, but especially a young person with a business, getting a loan is difficult. So we have, when we see they have a good, strong business model, we've been able to provide some grant funding to expand those businesses.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that within the youth advance activity, we have established a component on access to finance. Jim has just tackled the issue of access to finance, access to capital across, but specifically when it comes to youth are seen as risky clients, and it even makes it very difficult for them to have access to capital. So we have established what we call village and saving groups that allows these youth to pull together their small savings, and then they can actually tap in from those savings to start micro enterprises. And after they've established their savings groups and they start small businesses, we have the opportunity to link them to access to finance through existing service providers, financial service providers. So we want making sure that, first of all, youth develop the saving culture. And then from saving, basically, they know how to utilize their money for specific investment. So it's one thing to say that there is a challenge of access to finance, but even when you have money, how do you use that money? So in the work right now, for instance, they learn about personal finance. How do I differentiate my money from my business money? So I think that's a skill set that everybody needs to know how to utilize your money. So it's not necessarily that money is not always there, but when even money is there, the little money that I have, how do I use it to make
more money?
To make more money, as you just said.
Money brings money.
Yeah, so we have a lot of examples of our young people who have gone through this process of saving, start borrowing a small loans from within their group, started an income generating activity, and now some of them actually, from the profit that they make, they start diversifying in other small businesses or micro businesses. By the end of a number of months, you see that they are earning a significant income. So
how intense is that guidance for them?
So all the cycle is a 1 year cycle. So from the training, we have beyond the training, we have what we call post-training accompaniment, whereby the trainer remains behind to do what we call coaching, on-site coaching, making sure that they really do save. They meet on a weekly basis, and on a weekly basis, basically they bring their savings. So after a cycle, a 9-month cycle, they can start borrowing money from within their groups to start a small IGA. And it is a solidarity group. So we are basically linking these groups to existing financial service providers because now they trust. You want to see how you utilize your money first. I want to use how you borrow money from within your group and how you pay back. So that
So there's a sense of trust.
there is a sense of trust. There is a sense of accountability that comes in as well. So this story around this solidarity group basically shared with financial service providers in such a way that they find it easy to even lend to these young people. So we are conducting a mapping of financial service providers in those 3 counties and making sure we understand what their financial service products that meets the need of these youth, and then linking youth now. That's the next phase that we are going. But we have a lot of success stories.
Okay, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Super Morning Show on ELBC Radio. We have this special interview with Jim Wright, USAID Liberia Mission Director, and the Chief of Party of USAID's Youth Advance Activities, Steve Kamanzi. They're here as my guests on this show. Ahead of International Youth Day, we're discussing what USAID is doing with youth projects in the country. And this year, International Youth Day is under the theme, Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable World. And we've delved into climate change activities and how young people are being empowered to withstand the shocks of climate change and all that. So we can take calls now. You want to interact with the listeners and some of the concerns they will raise. Call us on 080-514-096, 080-514-096. And you can also call us on 07705818886, 07705818886, or 080-514-096. As we are with the calls, Jim, just the expanding the private sector. Do young people play a pivotal role in that? But before you answer that, let me talk to this caller quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, ELBC. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. What's the name?
My name is Ambassador S. Lionel Johnson, and I'm the President and CEO for Liberia National Wheelchair Basketball Federation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I want to say thanks to USAID. Since the beginning of Liberia, we have seen tremendous, viable, sustainable programs that have and continue to lift our people from extreme poverty to self-reliance and sustainable livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
My question to the USAID Mission Director and the Youth Officer is, we have not seen much from USAID.
In terms of
persons with disability, have not seen much from USAID as a concerned viable program for persons with disability.
Okay.
And secondly, we would like to make a personal appeal to USAID to help us with our disability sports program. It is very lacking for us that are right now into wheelchair basketball for 5 years. We have been looking for partners and sponsors. No one has come to our aid. So I want to make this personal appeal on behalf of our board of directors and executive committee members for USAID to please come to our aid to help us with the Liberia National Wheelchair Basketball Federation. Thank you very much, USAID, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Two concerns: USAID's support to persons with disabilities, and also, the wheelchair basketball program. But let's hear from this person as well. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm Ezekiel Kinamana, point from Palmertown Boulevard, Port of the Air Ministry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to the guests in the studio. I appreciate them and their concern. My concern has to do with, we'll talk about the loan issue. A lot of things we face, most of all that having a business, we had a small business are running in the community, but we face a lot of issues about the loan. We take a loan, too many interest. So my question is, can we have a number for you so that we can have a loan as well as we, the small business in the local community?
Okay. Thank you. They will respond. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from this person. Morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Yapazo Mbusowe from the Credit Union Movement of Liberia.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I listened to the program. I'm very I'm excited, and I want to say thanks to the host and the guests in studio. My concern is being joined to the linkages, financial services, for the so many youths that have been trained within this country. And we have the expertise. We're talking about the credit union movement. We have been in this from 1973 to present. We are willing to work along with UC to be able to provide financial linkages in terms of services to the many youths, group them into a sound financial driven youth groups that will create an exit strategy for most of these programs. I understand that the other money are being invested in youth, but after the program, I said there's no impact and there's nothing that can are visible to show that indeed these projects were in this country. And I want to say, quite frankly, trust me, if only we work in a line, we are willing to provide those services and form these youth groups, youth into financial service groups, even with the agriculture sector, group them, train them, and ensure that we supervise them, audit them annually, and make sure that we make timely reports to stakeholders for them to be able to see reasons to measure their growth.
Okay.
So, the Liberia Credit Union National Association is available, willing to partner with any institution, either with the USA group, to be able to advance this very beautiful financial service group. Because I just learned from one of the guys I was talking about providing financial services to some of these small business institutions.
Okay.
Well, we are already working with some institutions, and we have UCF, and we trust that if we do that strongly, trust me, the UCF will find evidence of their resources that they are giving out there to use. I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to make my contribution.
Thank you so much. Building a network of financial services and linkages. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Vavle.
Yeah, morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And to continue for my resident community this morning. Let me say good morning to your studio guests. I listened to them left as they elaborated, and my concern this morning is on support to the youthful community, because I'm also a youth. Vavle, there are a lot of times in these people spend resources, and then these resources they are spending, it does not, overall benefit the majority of the people. What am I trying to say in essence? Sometimes when these people have carried on this project, because of the ordinary community that know about it, probably these projects are done. So my concern here is, why they are carrying on these projects to empower young people to whatever means, can they engage the radio fervently, constantly, persistently, or for the youth to get involved? Because I'm sure the intent of that is for you to meet those suffering masses of the people, not the wealthy youth only. That's my concern this morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Okay, thank you. We'll end there on the core segment. Jim and Steve, you can respond to the concerns. Guess you got them, but he was talking about engaging more, with young people, especially people who are unemployed. More engagements with them. Yeah, so you can just respond given what you have there.
Okay. So those are all great questions. Engaging with youth, we've been absolutely doing that, and need to do more. So thank you for the reminder to continue for us to try and create other other opportunities for doing that. I'll take that to heart. The Credit Union Association, I'd love to have a meeting with the Credit Union Association and see how we can collaborate together.
Yeah.
Appreciate that idea. That's one of the I guess one of the benefits from coming on a program like this. We get to
The feedback.
we get to connect, and we'll follow up on arranging a meeting. The people living with disabilities is an issue that USAID cares about deeply. We try to be inclusive in all of our programs and find ways to include people with disabilities in across all of our programs, including in Youth Advance. So perhaps Steve can add to that.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I just wanted to add to the issue of disability inclusion that we are actually partnering with the 3 organizations, DPOs, Disabled People's Organization,
Okay.
to ensure that the program is accessible to youth with disabilities. And when we talk about disabilities, we look at various disabilities, various types of disabilities. So, for instance, we are working with the School of the Blind and to making sure that people with visual impairment have access to the program as well. So we have had their trainers trained on our materials. They're receiving technical support to train the youth in their school. We are working with the Mission for Hope with Hope for Disabled People, MHD. We have trained them. They actually received a grant,
Okay.
a small grant to implement the program. Yeah, we're working with the IDI. So those are 3 organizations already that we are working with. But in addition to that, we are building the capacity for local partners, mainstream partners, to ensure they integrate disability inclusion into their program. So definitely, as Jim mentioned, specifically for Youth Advance, we are doing a lot. But again, this cut across all other USAID program. And we have very many success stories of young people that have actually succeeded to find employment, youth with disabilities specifically. So I think this is a work in progress, but we already have good success stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, Steve, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Thank you, Vafri. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, the mission director of USAID, Jim Wright, and the chief of party of USAID's Youth Advance Activities, Steve Kamanzi. They've been here as my guest on this special interview segment of the Super Morning Show